Let's talk about what you can do to get started in this course. We are currently in week 1, and if you have a requirement in your course, like the quantitative reasoning and analysis courses have, you will be asked to work with SPSS. At the undergraduate level, you'll be asked to maybe work with StatDisc. Though StatDisc is provided to you from within the classroom, I can recommend even going onto the website. It's a free download. Put it on your computer so you can work on StatDisc at your own time and you don't have to be in the classroom to access it. When you download and install SPSS, you'll be using the link that is provided to you in the classroom, and that will take you to our Center for Research Quality, where you will also be provided a licensing key. You need that licensing key to get the software working on your computer. And when it's installed, it should look something like this. I know this is a small picture. It's actually from my computer. As you can see, I work on the Mac. It might look a little bit different from what it looks like on a PC. But if you focus on the toolbar on the top, on the menu on the top, those are all the options that you're supposed to see. If you have limited options there, then something went wrong during your installation process. Should that happen, contact your Walden student support that you can access via your landing page at Walden, and see if they can help you fix that problem. Sometimes students come to us as tutors with installation questions. We are not skilled in the technical support for an outside software program, so we'll send you back to student support. You might as well go in a straight line. You know, I mentioned that before, make sure you install that program in the first week. I know that in the quantitative reasoning and analysis course, you were not yet asked to use SPSS for your Wednesday discussion post, but you have an assignment due that requires the use of SPSS for this coming Sunday. So, you know, have that program installed. Don't wait till Sunday morning, because if something goes wrong with the program, you will not have time to remedy that. And once you have it installed, start clicking around a bit, familiarize yourself with it. Secondly, some of our courses require that you use the data sets that are provided to you in the classroom. And that's a great benefit, because that means you do not have to go out and collect that data yourself. So these are real life data sets. As an example, in the quantitative reasoning course, that is called the Afrobarometer, the high school longitudinal data set, and the general social survey data set. When you click on these data sets in the classroom, you are actually downloading them. So do yourself a favor, download them once, and then put them in a folder for safekeeping on your computer. That way you can work offline. We all know that we have sometimes climate events happening. Last year we had serious hurricanes. If you lose your internet connection, you can still work on your coursework when you have the data sets on your computer. It also prevents that you will not end up with a download folder that has multiple versions of those data sets, because when you click on it, you are downloading version upon version upon version. The other piece of advice that I can give you is to organize your computer. As stats tutors, we use Skype for Business. That helps us to share screens with you. And I often look into students' screens, and I can see 15 floating week 1 papers on the desktop. And I don't know what courses these papers relate to. They're not numbered with course numbers. They don't have a title. Do yourself a favor, set up a class folder. You can see the example on the screen here. I've placed some of the statistics courses here at Walden. And you can also see that I organized them by week. So inside the 8210 folder here, I have a weekly organization. I've named my folders so I know what's going on. There is a special folder for the data sets and other resources. And you can be creative here. If you need more folders, then you can make that to your liking. But I also named my paper and my discussion post. And the reason that I'm doing that so precisely is because in my experience as a graduated student, I went through the dissertation process, and I often had to grab back at acquired knowledge from previous courses. And trying to find that knowledge, trying to find these papers and refresh your memory is going to be very difficult if you have 15 papers that are all called week 1 paper or week 1 assignment. or week 5 discussion post 1. So you don't necessarily have to do that exactly when the course is running, but you could use the time between semesters to clean up your computer and to put all your coursework in folders and organize it like that. Jessica, I know that you are currently working on your dissertation. You're doing a qualitative dissertation, so you're done with your coursework. But did you organize your computer when you were doing your coursework?
I absolutely did, and I did it the same way you have with the quarter and the course, and then the semesters or weeks in between the courses. And what I didn't do that you have just talked about is to rename them afterwards, because I saved all my papers within the weeks within the course, just the way you submit them within the class. But it's a great idea to go back in after the course and change the papers to a name that you could search for later, because they are so helpful as you move forward in your dissertation process.
Thanks, Jessica. Yeah, I think it's good advice to organize your work, and also if you name your papers, then you can do easy keyword searches on them, and the paper will just come up. I'll share with you that I actually spend a lot of time at my residencies. In doctoral program, we had to fulfill 4 residencies in my program. I spend a lot of time listening to presentations while I was just organizing my computer. So that's a thought you can take away from this. I have some additional advice here. In your first week, you definitely want to print your syllabus and give it a read through. If you haven't done that yet in your first week, you don't have to study your syllabus, but you want to get a feel for what's happening in this course. And when you read through it, you'll see kind of what the buildup is of the course. As an example, I put the 8210 course on here. That's the quantitative reasoning and analysis. You will see that for the most part, your Wednesday discussion posts will always focus on your general social survey data set. You're asked to perform some kind of action in SPSS. And then on Sunday, you're actually doing mostly the same test, but with a choice of the 2 other data sets. So that gives you a chance to learn between Wednesday and Sunday. You make some progress there in the course. You're also asked to deliver a second assignment on Sundays, and that's a critique of an article that you will find in the Walden Library. You're asked to engage with the Walden Library and find an article from the last 5 years where the researcher uses the specific test that you are working on at that point. It's a great assignment. It will give you experience in how to read these quantitative articles. But if you look at the Sunday now, I'm bringing up 2 assignments, in the weekend. So that's a bit of a load. So you want to really focus on that part of the week and free up your schedule so you have time to work on that. I can also share with you that the 8210 course is built up in a specific way. The first 4 weeks focus on descriptive statistics, and you've already started that process. You'll be talking about variables and levels of measurement. You'll make a graph of these variables, and you will talk about putting them together for social change. You'll venture into confidence intervals. And in week 5, that will be followed with the logic of hypothesis testing. And once you have that knowledge, you'll apply that to inferential statistics, to all the inferential tests that are coming about in this semester between week 6 and week 11. The weight of this course lies in week 9 and week 10. In week 8, 9, and 10, you'll be working on regression, and you'll ease into that in week 8 with a simple binary regression. But in week 9 and 10, it will get, a little bit more complicated because you'll add variables to the tests, and it's a 2-week paper for week 9 and week 10. That is a hefty paper. It's not something you want to start the weekend that it's due. You want to take those 2 weeks to work on it. So take a look at your schedule and see what you have going on in week 9 and week 10, and allow some time to work on these papers. That is the same for the undergraduate courses. For instance, in the statistical methods course, the Stat 3001, I'm visiting that course next week as a visiting tutor. There is a lot of weight in that course in week 2 and week 4. So you want to kind of read your syllabus there as well and have an idea of what is expected of you in the next 6 weeks. The undergraduate courses run over a 6-week span. And last tip that I have is for the people who are in the advanced course, the advanced quantitative reasoning and analysis courses. The fact that you're in the advanced course tells me that you are set for a quantitative track for your dissertation. That's how it works at Walden. All the PhD students take the introduction quantitative course and the introduction qualitative course. And at that point, you're asked to make a decision about the methodology that you're planning to use for your dissertation. And in that methodology, you will complete an advanced course. So the advanced students who are joining us here tonight are definitely on a track of that quantitative methodology. When you come into that course, you might have had a little gap between the first statistics course and this course. If that is the case for you, it helps to review the stats concepts that you learned. Because the advanced course, the starting point of that advanced course is the knowledge from the first course. So if you don't remember what a p-value is or how to verbalize a research question or set up a testable hypothesis, apply confidence intervals and understand the difference between intervals and levels and how that relates to an alpha level and what the different tests entail again, then refresh your memory. There's still time in the week to do that. If you get on top of that, then you'll ease into this course in a much more gentle manner.